There's a million lies whispering in your ear. They're coming through the airwaves, but that's why you are here. This is the time, make up your mind. You can change your world, but first you gotta open your heart and speak the truth inside. Speak the truth. Live your truth. Speak the truth. Don't be afraid. Don't lie to yourself. Just speak the truth. Come on now, speak the truth. Just speak it. Speak the truth. Where are you going to in the search for your meaning? What have you gone through? Is the past all it's seeming? Oblivious, it's just us, found in the wreckage of humanity. But what if I told you there's a way to keep your sanity? Speak
The views expressed in the following show are of the host, the guest, and the callers. The content of the following show, its accuracy, authenticity, and the ramifications of the use or application of said content is the responsibility of those speaking and listening, not the broadcast medium. Alright, here we are back and we're live, Feet to the Fire. I'm your host James, off the Check the Black Knight of Talk Radio Live. We're doing a no green screen today. I don't have any real excuse other than I finally got installed Linux in the computer that's back here. And it wasn't the Linux that was the problem. Of course, nowadays it's nothing compared to the old days, but the computer is down underneath here along with a bunch of other stuff. And as I pulled it all out and rearranged everything, turned out the SSD drive I had was too small. It was 64 megabytes or gigabytes. So I had to pull it out again and switch it out with an old SSD that I had that was 128. And it worked. So nothing compared to the old days command line now with the Mint, Linux Mint version. Cinnamon is the update. I like all the names they got for it. So, and the time I got done with that, I went, at the green. So here we are. We're live, but I have the, the regular stuff going on here as far as the web pages and news items. I got some things I wrote down so I wouldn't forget. Poland had an election and the nationalist won big. Well, exit polls anyway. I'm looking up at the camera and there isn't one. So Poland has been very big with the nationalism stuff. No refugees, no tolerance for any trouble. They've had no attacks, terrorist attacks, and Trump just named them. I don't know what the phrase is. It's some kind of favored nation where you can get a visa. You can come here for 90 days without actually a visa. And so the Poles would be a very good ally to have. And that's good. So that is also big news. Project Veritas is coming out with a big exposition. Well, that's what they do, is they expose things. And apparently who they're exposing is Brian Stelter, or at least CNN featuring Brian Stelter. And they must hate him. It's like they hate Trump, because you have people who aren't elitist. They're not in the club, in the DNA club, the money club, and they're just kicking butts. So look forward to that. Project Veritas expose CNN. And they've been putting out the hashtag expose CNN, but it hasn't. You can look up the number of tweets it's been, 100,000 some, but it doesn't make the trending. Another bit of news, I wrote this down. I think I might bump into him along the way here, but I wanted to mention this. Hunter Biden came out and said he would quit the Chinese board that he was appointed to if his father wins. Of course, he'll keep the cash. And I'll quit my job. I'll quit my job if Biden wins. So big thing to say there. But then it also lets you know that when he was doing stuff back when Daddy was Vice P, that doesn't make it okay. So there's nothing you could say on this. This looks so terrible, and yet they have the upper hand in this, being the elitists and whatnot. Let me get to the web page here. I gotta flip to my Facebook page. There we go. I gotta have it trimmed for certain pages I have on. I just adjusted it. Hope it doesn't mess up. Okay. There we go. This is, talk about America. You have the white supremacists and all this stuff. This is my kind of America, by golly. This guy puts up, he wants to get 100 birthday cards for his 100th birthday. And he ends up getting 100,000. There we go. let's see. We got Aces. Aces over there. He's got his bat in hand. Take care of any trouble in there. Aces. We got Paul S. Oaksta. I don't know what the S stands for. Ray is there. And Zaloni. I can't read. I can't read English, let alone other stuff. So, with the dyslexia. So there we go. And I can't see the Spreak because of the way I got this set up. I can't really see the Spreaker one. So, hello to people who are going to be in there. I wrote this. I was thinking President Trump is an enigma. He's some kind of a savant. He's a business, political, and media genius, but then he has like a high school sophomore vocabulary. And it drives the self-righteous, the self-important, corrupt, pompous elites in both parties. It drives them absolutely nuts, which I thoroughly enjoy. So I wouldn't say a lot of the stuff that the president says, but I sure enjoy how it pisses him off. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Oh, Zeph is there. Yeah, the song, I should say this. I don't mean to be disrespectful of the songs I have here. That song right there, I put it up on my Facebook page, and the link will be in the below. That song was Speak the Truth. That was a Zeph Daniels song with Kelly and Michael chiming in on there. Michael on the guitar, Kelly singing. Good tune, and that's kind of the topic I wanted to have today. I sit down for the show, and I go to write out stuff. And I got to write out a topic for the show, and I don't know. I want to talk about stuff. This is a very fluid show, in case you haven't noticed, by the ahs, oohs, and stuff like that. And I talk about stuff that comes to mind, and actually I pray for inspiration for things to come to mind from my higher self, God, my mind, whatever. So it's kind of a fluid situation. So when I have to write down what to say, I can't just keep saying, well, I'll talk about stuff. So I kind of came around with this idea of the truth. It's so important now because everything is not true. Everything is so phony and true. I mean, when you watch a television show, obviously it's a drama. It's going to be not true. To some degree, anyway, it's going to be a drama. But now the news is a drama. Everything's a drama. Social media is, everything's a reality TV, whether it's social media, on TV, on radio, it doesn't matter. Walking down the street, people are putting on shows. So it's very important about telling the truth. I don't want to get too preachy. I mean, I tend to like to quote Jesus because he's got some good stuff. But if you the truth will set you free if you don't try to make reality what you want it to be, but accept what it is. And you could change it in the truth machine, in the mechanism of truth. You could do it. But what's going to be so important is nowadays with truth is that so many things are phony. The people who are true, even if they may be crass, I guess you could say that, it's going to be welcome because people want to know what's real. And the people who are rebelling against what's real, that's where you go into a mental disorder. You have a schism in your soul, in your mind, in your spirit. And so I think a lot of people will be looking up for those who maybe they don't like what they say, but the fact that they're saying it is true, you'll be there as some kind of a help or brace. Now, we have to look to see we are true as well. So that's why I like Socrates saying that the unexamined life is not worth living. You have to constantly examine yourself for truth all the time and change as you need to because truth is what we're looking for. So that's the overall arch. And we'll go through some truth and non-truths along the way. But I wanted to kind of explain where I came with that. It wasn't like some kind of a big deal, but it is a big deal because everything is so false and phony and lies. This whole thing with the impeachment is ridiculous. The lies upon lies. And now they're told, well, we're not going to bring out the whistleblower. We're not going to. Come on. I mean, it's so ridiculous that it doesn't matter who they were talking about. But anyway. And so I thought I'd take a second to kind of explain what's the deal on that. Let's see what I got here. Here's I want to mention I've been started with gab.com. My name or whatever is the little @ F, the number 2F, F2F. And I kind of like the format over there. The problem is, a lot of people are on Facebook or Twitter and they're there and all, their friends and family or people they want to, they're all there. So nobody's going to go, okay, we'll all go over to Gab. I mean, people are going there. But to get regular folk to go to there is going to be hard because nobody wants to learn a new thing, even though it is better, I think. In fact, Gab is nice the way they got it set up. It can be a Facebook and or a Twitter at the same time, because you can post longer items, but it only shows up as a little blurb, and you can see more if you want. So you can use it as a Twitter, or you can use it as a longer item. So I like the way they got it set up. They're constantly working on it. So there are days when things will get a little crazy, and then it's fine because it's a real-time working project. It's all open source. There's no censorship at all. Excuse me. There are some knuckleheads there, and you could just ban them from yourself, and then you're fine. It's a little responsibility, a little action along the way. If you want freedom, you're going to have to work for the freedom. If you give someone else the authority to make life better for you, then it's up to them how they make life better for you. And so, but there's a lot of people making some nice memes over there. And I kind of I like this one. Every strand in this web of corruption all leads to Obama. It's funny. It's really funny with all these people that one by one, they're getting nailed for this, that, and the other thing. And then by virtue of who they are and what they're doing, it does draw what line connects them all. And so it's very conceivable if actual justice prevails that it will go back to the top. I mean, when Nixon resigned, and it's the difference between Democrat and Republicans. When Republicans get caught, they resign. It's a little joke I made up many years ago. But Nixon, it's probable, I've read some books on it, it's probable that Nixon did not okay the break-in and whatnot, but his people did it, and so he tried to cover it up, tried to work around it, and that's where he got called in on it, because he wasn't involved at the planning, but he was involved in trying to deal with it. And he resigned for the good of everyone, including himself. I mean, but that doesn't happen in the liberal side, and you have to beat them into at their own game. You have to beat them illegally. You have to remove them. You have to expel them, and they won't stop. They'll just keep hollering, and they'll go out and arrange. So it's going to be very interesting times. I got some other stories that I want to get to. I want to try and take them in order. I got them here so I don't mess up. I saw this article, 2,149 people during the first year of the legalized assisted suicide died in Canada. And, I am not saying that euthanasia in some way or sense it's all bad. I'm not going to go down that road, but whenever you have the state, or for that matter, if you had insurance companies, whether it be private, when you have someone who's got an axe to grind in charge of whether you live or die, and not you, you have a problem there. Now, some people cling to life way too long. The heroic measures and all these things, some people just have a rough time. And I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but whenever you have legalized euthanasia, you start to have the state decide for you, well, you know what, it's better. And give you an example that a couple of children who were in England, and they had a chance for some rare treatment in America and in Italy, and England wouldn't let them go. They thought it would be too cruel for the children, to, each child, so they just let them die. And I don't know. I don't know if it's me, that just sounds ridiculous. The parents wanted to. Italy gave them a full citizenship so they can go there. It'd be no charge. It would no charge to England. Trump would have said he would send his plane to go help him bring him over here. the 2 hospitals in America said that they would have no charge to England. I mean, no. I don't know. I can't deal with that. And likewise, when you start having legal euthanasia, it depends who's. And then there was a kid, she was like 14, 15, or maybe 17. I think it was 17. She was depressed, and so she had herself euthanized. And you could talk. I talked to my sister about the akathisia, and a lot of those people, like it's believed that people like Robin Williams had it, and it's so bad that they end up killing themselves. I mean, it's just a really rough thing. And of course, all that akathisia is because of all the drugs, in particular, the antidepressant and anti-anxiety drugs that ruin the brain. I'd like to do a show on that. I got to find the right people to have on. Zero Hedge had an article pretty good, the CIA versus Donald Trump, and that's really what it is. Now, I don't know. It was a CIA and a mob, perhaps, and versus John F. Kennedy, and he's dead. Why this president's still alive, I don't know. I mean, providence of God, one can say. It could be that there's so many people protecting him. It's so high visual. I mean, to me, if somebody came up and killed him and he was a nutty guy and said he was a racist and I wanted to kill him, all that, I could see that flying in propaganda-wise. I could, well, you see, I don't know what to say. I hope not, and I'm praying not, but the CIA versus Donald Trump is really what the bottom line is. The deep state, the elitists, the child traffickingists, and whatnot. There's a whistleblower coming forward. I saw this. I went, oh, no, another one? But this is actually a promotion, or, a news item about the upcoming whistleblower for CNN, who was actually in CNN up and down the halls, who taped many hours of video and audio. And so CNN's going to get their ears pinned back then, and they really deserve it. Mention to speak the truth. I want to mention that, I was talking to Frank Debrezeni. He's a guy who works with me on the other show I do, which we haven't done much anymore, but Black Knight Square G show. And he's into the alternative fuels and all that, but he looks at it in a realistic sense. He's been talking about the problems with electric cars, electric energy. He thinks the best thing for America would be to have dams, hydroelectricity, generated. That strategically you can put dams throughout the United States, and it would power the whole United States for pennies compared to what it is now, with no pollution and whatnot. And anyway, and I said to him one day, this is a real, I put this up there, it sounds like a joke, but this is a real conversation I had with him. I said, too bad there's no way you can store the energy from the sun for future use. And he said, without any delay. He goes, yeah, there is. It's called wood. Well, what do we got here now? Yeah, as far as somebody said something about the problem with Firefox, I'm using Vivaldi right now, and it's been working out very nice. It is a version of the open source part of Chrome, and then they add their own stuff to it. It's very good for to program it for security reasons, erasing, tracking, and all this stuff. It's very nice. I'm actually using it in the background here. So that's going to be what I'm switching to. I just put it on the Linux that I have installed good, and I have it on the Windows and the Mac. So I just happened to look up, and it was going in the chat room. So yeah, that's Frank, good old Frank. Too bad they couldn't figure out how to store. We got D and Bonnie Anita in there. In the. See, there's the chat room. See, that's what I got to look at. Here's the little chat room there so people can see that I got it behind things. So, yeah, wood. Wood's been around since the beginning of time. So there you go, Frank. I'd say it's very practical. And I also put down something, another bit of a little practicality. It appears Mexico is paying for a border wall of sorts. That's built with 27,000 Mexican troops. Now, it's pretty sad when another country is protecting your border because your Congress won't approve the necessary funding to protect the border. That's the country we're living in. Trump, forced curfew. So now we have fires. Remember the fires broke a couple years ago? Part of it was because they stopped the forestry habits of cleaning out dead wood and control burns and whatnot. And also the infrastructure is decayed. The transmission wires apparently fell down and started them and whatnot. So what is the solution for that? Just turn off the electricity. Yeah, no problem there. Who needs electricity, right? So now you got huge swaths of California that have been having electricity 36 hours. They went out. Huge swaths of it. And I'm thinking, California has the most, was it a neo-communist, neo-Marxist, whatever, neo-Maoist, neo-Bolshevik? They're some of the most friendly government in there for that ideology. So you'd think they'd be cutting their people a break. Of course, no, because the truth is, when you have communism in whatever form you want to put it on, it is called, it's totalitarianism, and the only way you can get your kicks out of being a totalitarianist, is to push people around to power, to the administrative power. The only reason to have power is to actually wield the power. Just having it isn't good enough. You have to wield it. So if you are voting in the so-called pseudo-socialists, that they, the socialist light or something that they're saying, just look at California. It's a good example of what happens. So now we have forced curfews, which is another way to say martial law, turning off your power, turning up the taxes beyond belief, $5 a gallon for gas. Excuse me. And that's what you get for that. Oh, hold on for a second. I got coffee here, but I need some carbonation. So I watched the two rallies with Trump, the last couple of them, back to back. I happened to be off work slow on Thursday, so Thursday night, and then came home Friday and saw the other one. And I'm telling you, Trump, I wrote on this little tweet I put out, wow, Trump in Minneapolis, Trumpzilla unleashed. He released a Kraken. And I think he's just had it. I think when they came up with this newest impeachment push, which is the most transparent coup, veil, it's transparent. They put like a little clear sheet over them to try and hide the coup. That's it. I'm done. I tried to work with him. And I remember saying on the show, and I talked to several people, I said, if I can talk to Donald Trump, the only thing I would say to him, do you realize who you're dealing with? That these people want your blood, literally, and will not stop till they get it? I think he got it. I think this latest thing put on, because now he's just pushing forward. Boom, he's pulling people out of Syria. Everyone's having a heart attack. Even the neocons, of course, are having heart attacks. And he's like, we're done with putting our people in harm's way. He's got to come up with all kinds of creative ways to get border support and whatnot. He's just had it. Also, I want to mention, there's a video there, but Trump, I think it was an executive order, he made China owned a large portion of Long Beach shipping container yard in California, and for security reasons, he made them sell it. He didn't want to have the Chinese communists owning the largest or a large part of the largest shipping yard in America. And that was owned by, is that called OCL? OOCL. And they sold it to an Australian company, which was approved, whatever. So one of the things on it, if you watch this video, is that there is also a cruise missiles that fit in a shipping container. They got 4 of them in there. The top opens up, and then it comes up, and it's all controlled by satellite. So all you have to do is drop the shipping container somewhere and let it sit. I don't know how it's powered. I don't know if they got solar panels on the top. I don't know if it's whatever. I don't know if there's a lifespan to them, but no one knows. Of course, you can't ship that in legally. What's on the manifest? Well, we got 4 cruise missiles. It's obviously going to be coming in as some kind of a lie of what's in it, but nonetheless, it gets in here. And both China and Russia, I think it's Russian designed, but China has them. So Trump kicked them out of there. Another thing is that Chinese nationals arrested for trafficking fentanyl in the U.S. Now, the fentanyl comes from China, overwhelming mass majority of it, via Mexico. There's that pesky little open border, right? But I look at it as it's chemical warfare. If you're putting in chemicals into a country that's killing the people, chemical warfare. Well, I mean, how else do you describe it? All right, let me see if I can go here. Oh, yeah, I don't know if anybody's in the display. Email me if you can. I have an email, jjancik@protonmail, but all the other emails will work. It goes to that, but that's what I've switched to, which is totally secure. Well, as much as a personal computer can be secure. We had a show on a couple weeks ago about that. But this Tableau, excuse me, allows the over-the-air TV, and it records it. It's got a little guide you can click. It looks just like your cable guide, only it's from TV. You click on it, and you can TiVo it, well, TiVo it, I guess. You can record it. TiVo does this, too. But this is like $150. And it has this particular one has 2 different tuners in it, so you can watch one and record another, or record 2 when you're not there. And it's nice because it will send it through your internet to a streaming device like Fire. I have Roku. It'll send it to it, and you can watch it that way and control it from an app. It's kind of cool. I just want to know if anybody's got any cable cutting type of stories, or send me a link, or if you're on Facebook, just post it to me. Yeah, look, Trump roasted him. Yeah, I tweeted out that Trump brought his flamethrower, his torch with him, and he roasted Amar up there. It was in her actual area. I mean, it's just full barrel, full blown. But anyway, on this Tableau, yeah, if someone could let me know about this. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, okay. We're just checking in on there. I got to kind of bring it online there. I was also saying, One American News Network, I've been watching it. I actually pay $5 a month to get a streaming channel through Roku. It's called Cloud TV, KLOWD TV.com. I think that's how they spell it. And if you buy their news package, it's $5.99 a month, or $4.99 a month. $4.99 a month, I think. And it has One American News Network, plus it has RT and a bunch of some of the other stuff on there. But that's the main reason I get it, is for One American News Network. And I've been watching that because I can't, when I come home from work, I will watch Tucker. And if I can stomach Hannity's ego to listen to his guests like John Solomon and Tom Fenton and Sarah Carter, these people are doing great. I mean, Solomon should get a Pulitzer. In any other world, any other reality, he'd get a Pulitzer Prize for the work he's doing on this corruption. but I got to sit through Hannity. But when I just want to put something on for news, I put on the One American News Network, and it seems to me that Xfinity does not carry them for ideological reasons, because it's it's a no-brainer to carry it. But Xfinity, I should say, Comcast owns CNN, I believe, if I'm correct, and they don't want to have the competition. But what does it matter if I have Xfinity, and it doesn't matter, right, who I'm watching? But I guess there's a money stake in it, or ideological. AT&T does carry them. They have a contract with them, but they don't. They had you can get it on there. So anyway, with AT&T, look for One American News Network, and I really recommend them. Yeah, it's KOWD TV. It's the place. It's $5 a month. Let me see here. I talked about this is news. There's 4,200 truck drivers lost their jobs in September, and it's really bad for trucking. I just don't understand it. I mean, if the numbers are right, jobs are up. Employment is up or down. Unemployment's down. Employment's up. Companies are opening up in America. Yet every single thing that's made, either raw materials, the finished material, wholesale, retail, whatever, always goes through a truck. I don't get it how it's so bad. I mean, it is so bad. We're down to 4 days a week, and my company is doing, taking on some cheaper work to keep everybody going, but it just doesn't make sense. All right. I'm just trying to. Oh yeah. This is interesting. Trump blacklists 29 China-based entities over their human rights abuses, and it has to mainly do with Muslims in China are the ones abused. Now there we go. There's Trump, the Muslim hater, and yet he's working on behalf of some of these people who are abused in China. But another thing that Trump did was he made a rule that companies have to display their ownership tree, because what China was doing is China was buying up American companies and then investing through them. So it's an American company face, China in the background, and some have alleged they simply printed a bunch of money and dumped it in the market, and now what they can do is, if they own enough about it, they can just simply sell it with no intent to make money at it. I'll just dump it all and have it all crash. He also forbade them from buying into retirement funds and whatnot. So it's pretty good. Now, I talked about this last week a little bit, but I put out a little one-liner here. I said, I think I found Donald Trump in the Bible. He may be one of the two witnesses in the book of Revelation. Here's the quote that I put. And if anyone wants to harm them, fire flows out of their mouth, devours their enemies. And if you watch the last two rallies, fire was coming out of the mouth. Another point here is when Donald Trump talks to somebody, it's very interesting to watch. He actually listens to him, looks him in the eye. He doesn't have a long attention span because he's constantly doing a bunch of stuff. He can get the gist of it pretty quickly, but when he looks at them and talks, right now, in this particular link, they were singing God Bless America, and this guy, for his rehabilitation, he was in the Mideast and was severely blown up. And in his rehabilitation, he was singing. And so he's saying God Bless America. Now, it was off key here and there, all that stuff, but it was the fact that this guy struggled back from a near vegetable to do this. And Donald Trump really respected the guy. You could see this kind of stuff that you won't see in any of the elites who could care less. And this is what's important, is Donald Trump, for all his flaws, he has some traits that are precious, which is like really caring about the country. actor Stephen Baldwin. You can't be a Christian and support abortion. So apparently all the Baldwins aren't crazy. Now, I'm not going to go through this, but on serious, pull out this guy here. It was on Colonel Douglas MacGregor, was on Tucker, and he did a great analysis of the pullout. I can't even begin to repeat it, but it's in that link, and it's a short, and it's there. So it's funny how Kennedy, RFK Jr. is being just frozen out of everything, and unfortunately, the vaccination hasn't taken on as well with Trump as I would hope, though he has stood by people not being forced to do it. And I think that's... Now, Stefan Molecule... Molyneux. Where did that come from? He's into the IQs. And it's pretty interesting about some of his stuff. But the average IQ in Syria is 83. Turkey is 90. And when you have the low IQs, you can't see higher concepts. And no matter what you do, they're going to fight over there until they kill each other. And the reason why the average IQ is like that, it's not that those type of people over there are low IQ. It's the ones that were born with the high IQ, saw the problems around them, and came left. I mean, when you go to see a doctor, a lot of doctors are all Mideastern or Pakistani or Indian, and they're smart. It's not like they're 90. They're not like they're 80 and 90 IQ. They're smart. So the higher IQs left those areas, and since IQ is driven a lot by DNA, it's just kind of a stagnating spiral. All right, I think Lauder from Charter said he was wrong about Trump. All right, let me go to the other one. Okay, it's this one. Excuse me, I'm having rough times here with... Not my right, here it is. Here's the story. Hunter Biden steps down from Chinese board amidst Trump attacks. So, for people saying Trump is not doing anything effective, look at that. Obviously, they took it serious. They saw there was a problem there, and he stepped down. Where's Hunter is the big thing that's going on. I'm waiting to see that in T-shirts. Rand Paul standing up, supporting the exodus from Syria. Here's the statistics. These are important. The statistics show that blacks are killed by cops, white cops in particular, less than others. You know, all the statistics show that the stereotype is wrong. Well, here's one for the anti-rifle people. More people are killed with knives, hammers, and clubs, even feet, than rifles in 2018. Feet killed more people than rifles, but they need to get rid of them. CBS News, this is MBNA paid Biden's son as Biden backed a bill for them, credit card companies. This is when he was vice president. Well, I looked at this article and I was thinking, like, well, gee, what is CBS digging for? No, this is back to, what was it? Let me just click on it real quick. I forgot what the date was. 2008, August of 2008 was this story. Back then, they were doing stories like that. They don't do them now. Now, go ahead and tell me there's no bias. I know of course there is. Here is a picture of a guy who, he was an Iranian scientist secretly providing intelligence to the U.S. about the Iranian nuclear weapons program. Hillary shared emails with staffers discussing this person and their activities. well, when she wasn't talking about her grandkids and yoga. And he was found out, of course, her stuff has been hacked. And so it was found, he was executed for treason on that. So here's a case where her, quote, carelessness, if you want to call outright treason, caused death here. Very important. Tlaib says Democrats have been discussing detaining White House officials who don't testify. I even saw a video of her talking about, they're thinking about how do you arrest the president? What is the Capitol Police arrest them and whatnot? This is outrageous. And I brought up a while ago, I saw a video. There is I believe it's an Army, but it could be Marines. And I think it's Army detachment that's been in Washington, D.C. since like George Washington time that serves at the, quote, pleasure of the president. And so I would think that besides the Secret Service and the personal protection that the president has, they would have to go through the Army to get to him to do some kind of illegal arresting. It's ridiculous. Also, Mark Cuban came to mind. Mark Cuban's got a big mouth against Trump and all this stuff. So, hey, Mark Cuban, why don't you open your mouth about China and human rights and violations? Money got your tongue? He's one of the guys in the NBA who's, when somebody talked about supporting Hong Kong, oh, wait a minute, we can't do that. No, we got to not do that, because China pays a lot of the bills. Chinese shoes support the NBA. So there's another issue there. Of course, Biden, when he gets asked about his kid and stuff, he ends up having a fit. U.S. official charged for leaking classified info to journalists providing Chinese military secrets. This stuff's coming out. You see, you don't hear about this on the news. That's why I like the Epoch Times. They actually have a newspaper that you can subscribe to. It gets delivered to your house. Because they do come up with these stories. They don't come up with them like they're making them up. I mean, they're reporting them while others aren't. Yeah, here, Max Rove. Trump must prove he's innocent on impeachment. As far as I know, people are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So I do not want to be here. This is the last thing I want to be doing, says Rose. But no one is to blame but the president. The president says he is innocent, so we are saying is prove it. Is it the Marines? Okay. The Marines are the ones that are stationed in Washington, D.C. for the president. Larry Elder, I've been liking him. I've been watching some of his stuff. He's got a good cadence when he talks. He, of course, brings up good facts, good stuff. He's got a little bit of a humor. He's pretty good. I like him. Yeah, this is pretty... I'm going to see if this can fit on here. Well, I'll have to go to my full screen for this one. So I'm clear, these factory workers, which are 80% female, are making Nike shoes for 20 cents an hour and working 70 to 80 hours a week. So Nike can profit enough to pay Colin Kaepernick millions to speak out against oppression and injustice. This is the kind of stuff that when you actually look at it, it's just ridiculous. Where is the... Here it is. I'm looking over here at the chat. All right. Let me see over here. We got some stuff here. Yeah, I'm reading this posted. The underlying argument for gun control seems to be that the availability of guns causes crime, or at least allows it to be done. And if you have high capacity magazines, you can get a lot of people killed before they're stopped. By extension, availability of any weapon would have to be viewed as a cause of the crime. And now he's quoting from the Bible. What does the Bible say about such a view? God's response to Cain's murderer of his brother Abel was not to ban rocks or knives or whatever, but to banish the murderer. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, it's obvious that the reason behind it's a false deal where they're saying we got to get rid of the guns and there won't be any guns. My argument is, yeah, they got rid of heroin and there's still plenty of heroin. That's just a red herring. The real reason is they want to get people not have the guns so that they can't fight back, which goes all the way back to the beginning of this whole country. Yeah, there's another picture. I've been getting some of these from. I got to go back to my full screen here, full page. I've been getting these from Gab. That says a lot. All of these people are bowing down to China because they got the money coming in. And the ultimate irony might be that the money they got coming in is devalued, just been printed. That's another. I guess we're gonna have meme day today here. Let me get my full page thing open. Those who have this on their car, coexist, appear to be incapable of coexisting with people who have this on their head, referring to the Make America Great Again. And that's all too true. You know, and I don't really like talking about this stuff, politics. I'd rather look into cool stuff and alternative energy or different historic things. There is a person I'd recommend called Ancient Architect. He's on YouTube. Some great work looking up the pyramids and what time were they really done, who really built them, how did they build them, a lot of that cool stuff. But instead, we're talking about this nonsense. Oh, I want to mention this story here because I was listening to Solomon, and John Solomon, he says he doesn't think this is true. Burisma paid vice president $900,000 for lobbying. He did the research on it, and he just can't prove it. You can't find acceptable proof for it. That's why he never reported it. So I thought I would bring that up. All right, I think this is great. Come on. This is what's happening. Now, see, my sister and her husband were on duty during a gay pride parade many years ago, and they said it was just vile stuff going on, but they didn't get reported. But these are the people out there who are supporting this hard left agenda. I mean, how is that okay? How is that okay? You talk about a lot of prominent women. Feminists are talking about how women are objects and whatnot like that. Well, you know, when you have the album covers and you have the movies and all this stuff where you're showing off the sex stuff, I mean, it doesn't make it okay to be objectified. But you know, what the heck? You're not doing too much to help stop the objectivity. Here we go. I'm going to play this. Oh, I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to play this. The heck with the. I don't know if I'll get a copyright thing on it. I don't think so.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb. I'm smart and I want respect.
That was a scene from Scaramucci. Fredo Scaramucci, as well as Fredo Como. It was. I keep to save that so I can bring it out as needed. I'm thinking we got pretty much. Intelligence IG knowingly changed the whistleblower complaint. See, this is the CA versus Trump. I think I'm going to be done with this. I can't even go through this stuff again. They're slaughtering people in South Africa, not being part of the news. They're not covering what's going on in Hong Kong because, of course, the Chinese ties. Carries kids involved. All right, let me get out of this. I can't. I gotta come over some air. So, this is why truth is so important. Because I actually think, psychologically, that if one lies and lives a lie or promotes lying, it causes a break inside. I don't know if it's a spiritual break or if it's the spirit of the human body or all of the above. And we're watching just lies after lies after lies. And I think after you get that good of a liar, I should say, you just simply, you split. You can become a psychopath. You can have, if some people, say psychopaths are born from birth. Some may be created along the way. But they all look at them as being young. That you don't have someone who's like fine and normal and nice and all of a sudden turn into a psychopath. It usually means that it's early on. But I would think that you could do this by simply lying and lying and lying and lying continually and learning how to do it. And I've seen some people, I should have kept this video, but I saw it and I couldn't find it again. There was a lady, I believe she might have been in the Congress, who was talking about something, and she came up to a point, and then she's kind of stopped for a second. She looked down, and then she said it. And what I got from her body language, and maybe I was picking stuff up intuitionally, I don't know, was that she was disgusted about doing this, but she had to do it for an intellectual reason. There was the mind talked the heart into going along with this lying. And you could see when he went through that threshold. And I think if you did that enough, you would cause a break between, I don't know, I don't know how to say it, your soul and your mind, or your mind and your spirit, and this is what is happening now, is these people are so broken down, degradation is set in, degraded, that the power is the only thing. It's the only thing left. They got to have this, it's a focused in. It's like somebody who's, drowning. The only thing they think about is to get out of the water, and they'll kill you to get out of the water. Well, this is the only round is the only thing they need is to have this power, and it will kill anybody or say anything and do anything, whatever it takes to get it done. And it's outright ridiculous. And I think that's what the problem is. So the solution to it is to not get caught into that, not be attached to something so that you will turn around and lie about it. It's never good. The first time it's hard. It's like some people say, when you kill somebody for the first time, you get sickening, but then it gets easier and better. That's why you have people coming back from the military committing suicide. It doesn't get better, but I see the point. They're not the psychopaths. Fredo Como. Yeah. So this is why we have to stand for truth. And if we take a trimming for it, that's okay. Because you take that trimming, okay, I'm just looking to make sure. If you take that trimming and you keep coming back consistent, there may become a time where people will need that. I think it's about an hour here. Any other comments or questions? I think I got my little list. Yeah. Well, look for Project Veritas. I suppose in CNN, that's going to be fun. They're getting all lawyered up, ready to spring on them. Because there's some deal that talks about you can't film people without the permission. And they've already lost those in court. So I think that's about it, though. Anything else? All right. I guess that's going to be a night. I tell you that Trump is on fire, and I think he finally just said, "The heck with it." He's going to do what he's going to do. So I'd watch though. Now the left and the deep state can get desperate. Of course, when they're desperate, they make mistakes, and they get uncovered. So I am praying to God. I just want all the crap to be exposed. You know, I want this cleaned up. I don't want to continue on with this world into a world of slavery and delusion and crap, where they're making what they're doing with kids, and I just don't want to see that happening anymore. So my prayer, and Trump, whatever you think of him, is standing up against this, and people are not liking him, but the clowns, the clown show on the left is so ridiculous that they're quietly just either not going to vote for them or will actually vote for Trump and just not say anything about it. So polls don't matter because people aren't going to say. And it's just, Trump can't do it alone. He needs people to help. So I'm hoping that all these knuckleheads can get voted out of office. And our people are stepping up that sound like they're wanting to do something about things, not just get elected, but actually do something about them. So, I'm mildly optimistic on this. But we'll see what happens. All righty. Yeah. Aces in the chat room. Yeah, they're already desperate. It's going to be a crazy year. Now, this Friday, supposedly they're coming out with, it's not official, but it's, sources close to this subject have said they're coming out with the report, the IG report this Friday. So I would think that you would have indictments would if there were indictments, they would be getting ready because to come out and say there's going to be indictments and then go do them. It's kind of should be all worked together. And with Barr traipsing around the world, in fact, Barr met with Fox owner, which is like, what? And then that one guy quits? Well, I was watching him. See, when you look at these guys, you can see in their eyes there's a problem. You could see in their eyes that the wires I talked about are coming apart in their head. And the guy on Fox, now I can't think of his name because I could see his face. He had that same look. And Tucker just tore him apart, laughed at him. And he was really upset by that. He ended up quitting, and they were saying, oh, they treated him badly. Well, he goes to work and quits on the air, didn't tell anybody. I mean, I wouldn't call that exactly fair. So we'll just keep an eye on this. This Friday, if it comes up, this could be a pretty wild weekend. Because if there are indictments and they start to arrest these people, they're not going to go, okay, you won. This is to the death. This is to scorched earth. This is, what's that, Judy, take no, I forgot what that phrase is. They're not going to be, there's no compromise here. They've made their decisions. So it's a good time for prayer and seriousness. And you know what? Just being sane and human and having compassion and helping and that is going to be like more precious than gold coming up in this next year. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, we got a big one here. What's this? All right. We got, Ray's a big Trump fan, so whatever. All right, gotta go, and we will see you next week. God bless. Hang in there. Keep on keeping on. And as Kojak would say, like that there.